And good evening and welcome to football in 2023. Week 1 matchup tonight on Eagle 102 as the Bowling Green Bobcats visit the Louisiana Bulldogs here at Cunningham Field. It's the Mayor's Cup. It's kind of like NASCAR, Jim Ross. You start with one of the biggest regular season games.
Yeah, it's kind of taken a back seat lately because Bowling Green's been so good and so dominant, but this rivalry started way back in the 60s and early 70s and has been going on for a while. And you mentioned the Mayor's Cup. We've got a little history about that, but that started back in 1994. It's been going on since then, with the exception of a little sabbatical where MSHSAA changed the schedules around and Bowling Green and Louisiana weren't able to play. But historically, it was always the first game of the year. They've been back to that for the last 4 or 5 years now, and it's a good thing.
It's the Bulldogs and the Bobcats. We'll start the pregame show for you next on Eagle 102.
Check the latest banking in your account. Start banking on your schedule and download the People's Banking Trust app today. People's Banking Trust, hometown banking the way it should be. None but reality.
Your car, your stuff, your savings. Combine your auto and renter's insurance with a call to State Farm Insurance Agent Penny Blaylock in Louisiana. And let Penny show you how to put life back in your life insurance. Auto, home, and life. Make your wallet happy. Here to help life go right, State Farm Insurance Agent Cindy Blaylock in Louisiana.
Bowling Green Tractor wants to change the way you think about yard work with their Eco 56-volt arc lithium battery-powered lawnmowers, weed eaters, blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws. At Bowling Green Tractors, you can walk in and see for yourself just how easy these products are to handle. Bowling Green Tractor, your home for Eagle. Power behind the lead. Area high school sports on Eagle 106. Brought to you by Cellular and Satellite Center, Hyde County Memorial Hospital, and Community State Bank of Missouri.
And welcome back to Cunningham Field in Louisiana. Week 1 football tonight. High school sports returns to Eagle 102. Mark Pronick, Jim Ross. And it doesn't get bigger than Bowling Green and Louisiana in this part of the area.
No, it doesn't. And as we mentioned, they call it the Mayor's Cup. Mayor Mike Grody in Bowling Green and the late Bill Wunderlich got it started back in '94, and it's been going on ever since. They actually had, some friendly wagers. I think wood smoked meats was what Mike offered up, and Bill offered some apples from Stark. So I don't know if the Mayors are making any kind of wagers tonight or not, but it's a tradition that's been going on for some time, and we're glad it's continuing. We're glad to be here. It is a hot one, though.
Oh, it is, and actually doesn't feel terrible outside the booth, but inside the booth it's sweltering, but we'll do our best to bring you this matchup
without passing out.
Before we pass out, yeah. Just talking about this series, it's been dominated since it came back by the Bowling Green Bobcats. The closest matchup was a 48-34 Bobcat win in 2015, a 30-20 Bobcat victory in 2012. But the average score of these games has been 54-14 over the last 6.
Yeah, in the last 2 years, 56-0 and 68-6, I think, were the scores of the games. And so, to have a really true rivalry, a heated rivalry, it needs to be a little closer than it is. And so Louisiana's making strides towards that. Of course, everybody's aware of the long losing streak that they had back, 10 years ago or so. And they brought in Greg Pitzer 4 years ago, and he's slowly each year got a little bit better, and he's hoping to make another step in that direction this year as well.
They're down a little bit. Their numbers from last season, they were at 31 last year. Louisiana was. They're 27 this year. A lot of younger guys. They lost a lot of seniors last year.
Yeah, they did. And when you have that few of players, the problem is they actually have pretty good players, guys. I mean, the 11 guys that they're going to put on the field probably go about 14 deep, or football guys that can play football. But if you get somebody hurt, it's like getting two people hurt.
Exactly.
And with a small squad like they've got, boy, that'll be a death knell for their next few games until they can get those guys healthy. But they come in healthy tonight. Both teams are healthy, and Coach St. Clair, told me he's looking to see improvement and fix what they didn't do right at the Jamboree, because they got smacked pretty good, particularly by the Hannibal defense last week, and so they're looking to correct some of those things. Coach Pitzer, on the other hand, he's wanting to see 4 quarters out of his guys. Bowling Green didn't play their starters in all of the regular season games last year in the second half.
Yeah, that's right.
Until they got to the playoffs, so he's hoping to be able to stem that tide and keep this game close enough into the second half where they may have a chance.
I was talking to some of the Bowling Green players earlier this week, and they were talking about how the playbook offensively under Mark Sinclair is going to stay pretty much the same as we've seen the last few years since he's been there. The defense is where they're really going to make some changes. I think getting hit by the long ball of Blair Oaks in that last game last year really triggered something in the coach's mind, and they're gonna really focus on communication in the D-back play.
Right, and one of the more entertaining games you've ever seen against
Yeah.
Blair Oaks. It just came out. Blair Oaks had the ball a couple too many times.
Yeah.
But they've got to fix that. But they've got 8 or 9 starters back on defense. They graduated 18 seniors last year. Bowling Green did.
Yeah.
So they lost a ton. They lost 3 or 4 All-State players, 2 of their top skill players, and their quarterback and their tailback, and then an offense, couple linemen as well. So they've got some holes to fill. But when you've got 59 players in the history of a program like they've got, they don't rebuild, they reload,
exactly.
as they like to say.
And the 4 guys I talked to, they talked about how the lines are a little rebuilt this year from last year, because that's where a lot of the graduation was from. But they were really excited about a sophomore coming in on the line, Jakari Clark. So look for him to make some holes tonight, and it should be interesting seeing just the different. That slight difference between having Mark Sinclair as an offensive coordinator and having him as the head coach,
Right.
And what Bowling Green will look like this
Well,
year.
and the other thing they got to guard against is overconfidence. When you talk about the last 2 years, you can't come into this game and just throw it out there. You're still going to have to play. And I'm sure Coach St. Clair's beat that into their heads this week to where they should be ready to go. And for Louisiana, they got to be careful to not get blown out early.
Yes.
They got to have some positive things happen early in this game. I think last year it was like 21-0 within 7 minutes of the first quarter. And, once that happens to you, you just don't know which way to turn. So Louisiana's got to be ready to go at the opening kick and hopefully stem any tide in this early emotion of this football game.
One last stat before we go to break. The seniors were talking about during their 4 years, their previous 3, and I think it goes beyond them, they have scored on the first play of scrimmage every season. So they want to keep that going again tonight. They want to have that blowout of Louisiana set early.
And they may have scored on every first series of the game last year at every game. I don't know. I'm speculating, but they were that good last year.
This is the Eagle 102 pregame show. It's the Bulldogs and the Bobcats. Week 1, the Mayor's Cup on Eagle 102.
It's a great process.
Bowling Green Pharmacy, located right on the square at 8 North 4th Street in Bowling Green. Down there on Bowling Green 102.
And our keys to the game for tonight, we kind of touched on it for Louisiana. You don't want to get down big early.
Right.
And for the Bowling Green Bobcats, I mean the exact. They want to instill their dominance here on the road in week 1.
Sure they do. And while Louisiana wants to make this a football game and make it a 4-quarter football game, Bowling Green's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
They go too deep at about every position, and they want to see some of those other guys get playing time tonight. They've got tonight's game, and then they've got a game at Palmyra, a team that's recovering from a bunch of off-season issues, and then they got Luther and St. Charles. So they've got 2 games here to really get ready before they step into the deep water in their season. And so tonight will be their first step to see if they can do that.
And Louisiana, they want a good showing. I mean, they don't want to be fumbling the ball or throwing interceptions. They want to keep the turnovers to a minimum. They want to play good special teams tonight, not embarrass themselves in any facet of the game.
Right, and the other thing about that is this is the best team they're going to play all season.
It is.
And so you go out there, you give it your best shot, see what happens, and then next week you fix what you didn't have working for you tonight, and then be ready to play Crystal City next week.
Exactly, a team that they've had success against the last few seasons. It's the Bobcats and the Louisiana Bulldogs here in Week 1, the Mayor's Cup, and we'll check our starting lineups for you next on Eagle 102. And your starting lineups for this Week 1 matchup between the Louisiana Bulldogs and the Bowling Green Bobcats. First for the Bulldogs, offensively on the line, the center is number 55, Ben Nictula. He's a junior. The left tackle is a senior, number 51, Alec Polston. The left guard is a junior, number 56, Brendan Hughes. The right tackle, number 71, a junior, Dominic Hathaway. And the right guard is number 72, a freshman, Elon King. The skill positions for Louisiana. The tight end is number 3, a senior, Cooper Lumley. The wide receivers, junior, number 11, Joe Pitzer, and a sophomore, number 12, Jared Wilkinson. The running backs, DeMarco Green, a senior, he wears number 7, and number 9, a junior, Brady Shepard. And the quarterback is number 13, a senior, Ethan Harrison. So those are your Louisiana offensive starters. The Bulldogs are coached by Greg Pitzer, assisted by Max Smith, Jordan Luck, and Tommy Wallace this season. For the Bowling Green Bobcats, new head coach Mark Sinclair brings his team on the road, and this is their starting defense. The defensive backs are number 7, a senior, Eli Grody. Number 8, a junior, Jace Eskew. Number 11, a senior, Drew Dalton. And number 28, a senior, Zach Gibson. The linebackers, senior number 42, Bryson Brandenberger. Also, number 1, a junior Dane Dunn, and number 0, a senior Blaine Bryant. And finally, the defensive line is a senior, number 55, Harrison Hunt, number 66, a senior Lucas Jennings, number 69, a sophomore Jakari Clark. I think I've got them all. They're getting ready to play the national anthem, so we'll take a break, come back with your coin toss in just minutes. It's the Mayor's Cup, Bowling Green, Louisiana, from Cunningham Field in Louisiana on Eagle 102. Back at Louisiana, getting ready for the Mayor's Cup here in 2023. Mark running Jim Ross. Still about 9 minutes away from game time, awaiting the Bulldogs to run through the sign into the 50-yard line. Just a couple of more facts about these teams. Louisiana was 4-7 a year ago, lost to Brentwood in the district semifinal. Second year in a row they lost to Brentwood to end their season. Bowling Green 12-1, undefeated in the regular season. Got all the way to the state semifinal where they lost to Blair Oaks in what you said, one of the most fun high school football games you're going to see anytime.
Yeah, they're 23-2 the last 2 seasons, Bowling Green is. So they're coming in with quite the tradition and quite the momentum, and they hope to carry on what they've done the last 2 years. Made it to the quarters and got beat by Lafayette County the year before, and then last year, of course, got by Lafayette County and then ran into to Blair Oaks. Let's tell the folks while I got a little time about other games around the area. We'll try and keep track of these scores best we can. Mark Twain hosts Monroe City. Palmyra hosts Hallsville. Hallsville, interesting, a team Bowling Green's played in the playoffs. They're playing their first 8 games on the road this year because their field's not done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. South Shelby hosts Milan. Pleasant Hill Western, they host Triopia, I should say.
Yeah.
Pittsfield and Athens. West Pike Southeastern plays Galva. Van Far hosts South Callaway. Hannibal's at Helias, and the big game up north in Illinois is Quincy High and Quincy Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's always a big one as well. Some other sports, Silex playing today and tomorrow at the Rockwood Summit Invitational, and Bowling Green in the 16th Annual Troy Leadoff Classic.
Silex actually won their first game against Naylor 15-0. They were scheduled to play Francis Howe sometime late this afternoon, and I did not see a score before we got here.
And Bowling Green Volleyball lost earlier, I believe, against Winfield to open their season. That game was at home.
Van Far will be on the road tomorrow at the Hallsville tournament. Clopton is on the road at the Moberly tournament. And Ellsbury and Warrenton play on Monday for their first game of the season, and Louisiana will travel to Paris on Monday for their first softball game. So it's on.
It is. Fall sports in full swing, and it's a fun time of year for sure. It's a hot time of year for sure as well, you know.
Well, a lot of changes with almost all the games in our area were moved back to 8 o'clock, which, you know, back in the old days, they used to play them all at 7:30. I'm glad they moved them to 7, but when it's hot like this, it's and you're right, outside, since the sun went down beyond the trees to the west, it's gone down, temperature's gone down quite a bit outside, so it's not going to be terribly bad for the players.
Yeah, and this was supposed to be the last day, I think, for the extreme heat. I think we set a record for a high temperature for the month of August today, or at least they did in the St. Louis area. So it was also the hottest day of the year today.
Well, I talked to Matt Cannon this morning a little bit, and I told him I was a little bit surprised they didn't move some of these games to tomorrow. You know, play them at 11 in the morning or 1 o'clock, you know, before it really gets hot again. I mean, it's only supposed to get up to 90, you know, only, right? But, you know, you got the official situation. Are you going to be able to get the officials here? I don't think Bowling Green was real fond of playing on Saturday rather than Friday night, because they have a huge following over there on the visitors' sideline, and so they're going to play it tonight just like everybody else is.
Yeah, Howell defeated Silex in the second game 9-0 after Silex had beaten Naylor 16-0.
Yeah, that's a big-time tournament at Rockwood Summit where they're playing. So stepping up down there a little bit and getting ready for the conference season.
The Bulldogs bust through the sign out to the 50-yard line. Bowling Green has been waiting and practicing some of their offensive snaps on their sideline for the last several minutes. We'll take one more break, come back with kickoff in just minutes. Week 1, the Mayor's Cup, Bowling Green, Louisiana on Eagle 102. Louisiana to their sideline. Bowling Green has been waiting patiently at theirs, and the players about to head out with the coaches to the 50-yard line for the coin toss.
Yep, the 3-minute mark. I was out there interrupting the officials, asking them if Mark St. Clair was handing them money or not.
Yeah, he would love to get the opening kickoff and get the lead early in this one for sure.
Well, let's take a look. It looks like some scores are already coming in because some of these games played at 7. North Shelby plays 8-man. They trail Bishop LeBlanc 16-6. That's in the first quarter. Looks like that's the only one that's underway so far in our area. So, like I say, we'll try and keep up with the scores for you here, and hope we bring you a good football game here from Cunningham Field tonight.
And the field looks great for as hot as it's been.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that, 3-week stretch of torrential rain we had when we were stuck in that system really paid off because right after that was the heat that we've had.
Right. And I love Louisiana's uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Those are great-looking uniforms, and love everything Bowling Green does, but the white uniforms are pretty good for broadcasters. The black uniforms, not so much.
Yeah.
Black with red numbers makes it very difficult to see, but Louisiana's got their huge numbers on their back.
Yes, they do.
They stick out in white on those maroon red, or I think
as much as I love the home jerseys, I love the road ones even better.
They're sweet too. Yeah, they made a good choice when they switched to these uniforms a couple years ago.
And these are, I believe, new ones for Bowling Green this year as
Are
well. The last couple of years. Just before we're waiting for the coin flip here and to kick off this game, how do you think, the playbook hasn't changed much for Bowling Green. How do you think the look between Blaine Bryant and Marcus Starks how that changes things. They're different types of runners for sure.
They are. I think Blaine Bryant's got the same kind of speed as Marcus did, but Marcus was more of an agility kind of running back. He had moves, he'd spin, he'd run. Blaine will run over the top of you.
Yes, he will.
He'll run over you, then he'll run past you. And so I think that's the difference. He's a little more of a straight-ahead, north-south runner than Starks was. But, again, they both have tremendous speed. So,
well, Bowling Green's going to kick off to Louisiana. It's the start of the 2023 season, the Mayor's Cup, between the Bulldogs and the Bobcats, and we're about to kick it off here in 2023. Mark Froning, Jim Ross here at Cunningham Field. Just a great night for football.
Yeah, it is. It's good to get back to it. You know, we've been sitting on the couch for all summer, and
well, some of us have. I think I stay pretty active.
Well, I mean, as far as not broadcasting.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I think you and I are kind of ready to get back into this, especially on Friday nights. Nothing like Friday nights, man, I tell you.
Yeah, those lights come on. It's something special.
You look around the areas and some of the traditions that go on, and some of the pregame things some of the schools do, and it's just pretty cool.
Easton Orff on to kick it off for the Bobcats. Louisiana.
Well, the kicking game is something that Bowling Green could improve on from last year to this year, particularly field goal kicking. They didn't kick very many extra points last year.
No.
And that can become very important. It didn't really turn out to be a difference maker in the Blair Oaks game, but let's see what Louisiana can do with this first possession.
Orff, who shared the kicking duties a season ago, raises his hand high, waiting for the officials. Up, and we almost had a false start, didn't we?
Well, we did have a false start, but I think it's because the official hadn't blown his whistle yet.
Yeah.
There it is.
Now we'll kick it off, and it goes deep. Fielded at the 6-yard line. They'll come to the near side with it. Takes a big hit, does the return man for the Bulldogs, DeMarco Green, and he returns it out to about the 14-yard line.
Green with a 15-yard return.
Yeah, about a 15-yard return. He took it just inside the 5-yard line. So let's see what Ethan Harrison and his offense can do here with their first possession.
Bulldogs in their Bulldog burgundy, Bulldog red uniforms trimmed in white.
Believe it or not, I think they call that cardinal red. I have never figured that out.
Well, Arizona Cardinal Red, formerly St. Louis football Cardinal Red.
Yeah.
I think it was more when they were in St. Louis, they kind of wore this color.
Right.
And it never left the minds of the Louisiana faithful. Running on first down, and Green is tied up immediately and dropped behind the line. He actually got it out past the 20 on that kickoff, but it'll bring up second down.
He'll lose a couple on the carry.
Yeah, loss of 1 officially on the play. 2nd and 11.
Good penetration by the defensive line of Bowling Green that time. They've got some big boys up front. We talked about it off the air before the game started. They probably, the 3 guys there in the middle, probably weigh more than the entire offensive line of Louisiana.
That's true. And it looks like they're going to put some pressure on here on 2nd and 11. Hand off inside again, and again they're going to lose a yard.
Straight die play that time to the fullback Shepard, I believe. And he looks like they're going to say another loss of 1.
He may have got back to the line on that one. We're down to 10:48 to go.
Half yard, yeah.
Play clock at 28 as they huddle up. That's something they did last year. They huddle up and have to wait a while for that play to come in.
Well, and they want to slow this game down. They don't want to be in a hurry up offense. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do on 3rd and 11.
Under center. And they try a reverse, and that one's snuffed out immediately and dropped back at the 15-yard line. They're going to give them forward progress, I think, to the 16, but it'll bring up 4th down. Cooper Lumley on the carry that time, and Bowling Green wasn't fooled at all.
No, they weren't. A loss of what, about 6 on that?
Yeah, down to the 16-yard line, 17-yard line.
So they'll have to punt it away.
Well, they don't look like they're in punt formation, though.
Well, they can't go for it. I can't believe.
On 4th and 16.
From their own 15.
Looks like they were trying to get Bowling Green to jump. Now they'll drop back into a kick formation. Low snap. Kick is off the side of the foot and out of bounds at the 38-yard line, it looks like. So Bowling Green will have good field position for their first possession, and that streak might be alive here.
Yeah,
with a short
right.
field.
Short field, and it all starts up front. And Bowling Green dominated that defensive series on the line of scrimmage, so we'll see if that holds true here on the offensive side.
Askew brings the offense onto the field. The handoff is to Blaine Bryant. He meets some traffic, and he is brought down, and the ball comes
loose.
out. Ball comes out. There's a fight for it at the 34-yard line, and Bowling Green, I think, recovers.
And after all that, it looks like going to be a gain of about 3. So very fortunate for Bowling Green.
Drew Dalton's the one that fell on it.
Good gang tackling that time by Louisiana. The offensive lineman kind of stood Bryant up, and the linebackers filled nicely.
Gain of 4 on the play. It's 2nd and 6, almost 2nd and 7. And again, it's to Bryant, and he finds a seam this time, has first down yardage down to the 25-yard line, maybe the 26. Nope, right on the 25, and a fresh set.
So a gain of 10.
Run by the Bobcats results in a first down, 1st and 10.
That's more what we were expecting out of Blaine Bryant.
Right, just off tackle, nothing fancy about it. Kind of running out of the power I formation, if you will.
Clock starts again with 8:45 to go.
Ran a lot out of the shotgun last year. Everything's been under center so far.
Another inside handoff and drop for a loss this time. As they give it to Easton Orff,
Yeah, not a lot of running room. That play didn't develop very quickly.
So
And it looks like they'll lose 1.
And 11.
down to the 26-yard line. Nose of the football on the 26. 2nd and 11. For Bowling Green as they try and figure out this offense, and an inside handoff. And they'll get that yard back plus another. Gain of 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Was that Bryant again?
Third down.
I believe it was, with a gain of 2. Bells toll for 3rd down here.
That's 4-down territory for Bowling Green, so the playbook's still pretty wide open right here.
Askew again under center. Reverse rollout. Throw to the far side. He's got the first down as he dropped that shoulder right at the marker and rolls across for a first.
Dumped it underneath to Drew Dalton.
And Drew Dalton has shown he is an offensive weapon the last few years.
Result of play is a Bobcat first down.
Gain of 11 on the completion.
First throw of the night for the Bobcats. That was a good rollout by Askew.
Yeah, nice safe pass.
Pitch now to Blaine Bryant. He's coming to the near side. He's got the pylon, and he is in for the score. Blaine Bryant in for the touchdown for Bowling Green to make it 6-0.
Flag on the play, however.
There is in the backfield. It looks like a hold. Right at about the 15-yard line.
Ran it around left end. Good seal by the left tackle, but yeah, holding.
So that'll back him up. Wipe the touchdown off the board. With 7:11 to go in the opening quarter. No score. Bobcats and Bulldogs for the Mayor's Cup.
So it'll back the ball all the way back to what, the 24-yard line?
For the Bobcats.
It'll be 1st and 20.
At the Bulldog 30-yard line.
And we'll see what they pull out of the playbook here. I think they're going to go back to the air here.
I would think so. Nope.
Nope. Fakes the rollout this time, gives it to Bryant on the far side, and
Little misdirection that time, pulled the guards to the left, and Bryant ran around right in.
Gain of about 4.
Number 11, Dalton, Drew Dalton.
Or they give it to Dalton that time on the
Ball was
misdirection play.
Oh, was it Dalton?
I believe so. So 2nd and about 15. This time the run's to the near side again. Looking for that pylon is Bryant. He ducks his head at the goal line, and he's in for the score. Almost the same play, almost crossed at the same spot, and Blaine Bryant makes this one count. No flags this time, and it's 6-0 with 6:31 to go in the opening quarter.
20-yard touchdown run for Bryant, his first of the season, first for the Bobcats at the 6:31 mark.
So the Bobcats strike first after forcing a 3-and-out and a bad punt. Looks like they're going to go for 2. Familiar.
Yep.
And it's Bryant again, and he is in and then gets hit as he crosses the line by Joe Pitzer to make it 8-0 Bowling Green. 6:31 to go in the first. It's high school football week 1 on Eagle 102. So the Bobcats strike first, a 20-yard run by Blaine Bryant, his first wearing number 0.
Well, and the Louisiana defense showed pretty well there. You just offensively, you can't put them in that hole, giving them the ball on the 38-yard line every time. You got to give them a little bit more of a chance than that. But a typical ground and pound Mark St. Clair kind of offense so far with that one pass and everything else on the ground.
You know, Louisiana's got some size. They're not tall, but they've got some thickness.
Right.
And that could actually help them against a tall team like Bowling Green because it's hard to get those shoulder pads down on those Louisiana guys. Kick goes down to the 5, fielded there by Green. Makes a move across the 15, 20, down across the 30, and he's got daylight. Across the 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Kick return.
95 yards, no flags.
DeMarco Green makes it a 2-point game on the return. How about that?
That's lightning in the bottle.
DeMarco Green.
What a run by Green.
He started up the middle and broke it to the outside and had nothing but green grass once he got through that first
wave.
line of defense.
Yeah, he hit the 30 and he was gone. So they could tie it up here with the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that'll put a little wind in Louisiana's sails, I would think.
Uh-huh. Good to hear the fight song early here at Cunningham Field.
Well, I mean, let's be serious. The last 3 or 4 years, the only time Louisiana's scored against Bowling Green is in the second half when the second and third strings in there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is against the first group.
Pitch out. The ball got loose. Bowling Green falls on it. 2-point conversion, no good. And with 6:16 to go in the first, it's 8-6 Bowling Green. The Bulldogs on the board here in week 1 on Eagle 102. Eight to 6, Bowling Green leads after the 95-yard kickoff return by DeMarco Green to put Louisiana on the board. At Athens, Pittsfield in a lightning delay, and they won't get started until after 9.
A lightning delay.
Lightning delay
Holy
at
smokes.
Athens.
North Shelby and Bishop LeBlanc at halftime. Now remember, this is 8-man football. It kind of would remind you of the Blair Oaks Bowling Green game last year. 36 all at half.
Wow. So Louisiana will kick off after getting themselves within 2. And they're going to try an onside or a squib, and it's fallen on at the 45-yard line.
Ball is recovered by number 6.
Yeah, Louisiana hasn't kicked the ball deep for years.
Isaac Oberhaus falls on it.
For fear of
On their own.
what might happen on the kick return.
First and 10.
So Bowling Green only has to go 55 yards this time.
Yeah, that's 20 more than they did last time, right? So see how the defense holds if with something besides the goal post in their shadows.
Yeah. Only one flag so far. That was a hold against the Bobcats. They recovered from that. And both teams slow to come on the field for this second drive.
We'll have water breaks, I believe, during each quarter, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not quite sure how they do it right now in high school football.
I think it's whenever the head referee sees something, someone panting or something, they go ahead and blow the whistle for a official's timeout.
Well, that wouldn't work for you and I because we were panting after we came up the stairs to the press
it's about
box.
25 degrees hotter up here. On first down, the give is to Easton Orff, and he has about 2 yards, maybe 3, out to the 47-yard line. Give him 2.
Another run right off tackle. Nothing fancy so far by this Bowling Green
For the Bobcats.
offense. Pretty standard stuff.
So there's where it changes a little bit. Blaine takes over the number 1 running back role. Easton the change of pace back.
Well, and you got a new quarterback too that's not near as confident probably as the All-Stater was last year.
Got him to jump.
Everybody jumped.
Yeah, the entire Louisiana defense jumped. So that'll move it 5 yards and make it a second and about 3 across the 50 into Louisiana territory.
So I don't know what happened. Usually you don't see everybody jump, so I don't know what they saw or thought they heard.
Well, Jace must have a good cadence.
I guess.
Omaha.
And they'll all tell you, coaches, on movement, boys. Watch the football. Put earplugs in.
Yeah. Clock running down to 5:20 to go in the first quarter. 8-6 Bowling Green. And now Bowling Green jumps, and we're going to go back the other way is Aiden Grody.
Ball start
Dude.
on the offense.
Jumps across the line.
I'm not sure what it mattered. The left tackle was lined up in the neutral zone. We were looking straight down the line of scrimmage, so they had a problem from the lineup point.
So now it's second and 8. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Back across the 50-yard line. Clock still running down to 5:10. First quarter here in the Mayor's Cup. Keeper this time for Eskew, and he takes it across the 50 to the Bulldog 47, set up a manageable third down.
Yeah, they'll give him, 5 on that and leave him third and a long 2.
So they got the penalty yardage back.
Yeah, Eskew's first run of the game.
Down to 4:35 to play. 2-point ball game. Bowling Green scored on a 20-yard run. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Louisiana gets on the board. Across the line, Bryant down to the 40. He's got the first down and a little bit more.
Yeah, he's a little bigger than he was last year,
Yeah.
I think. So a gain of 7 on that carry for him.
I'm sure he's on the Wyoming plan now.
I would guess he is.
I'm sure he got a whole routine.
In Wyoming, they don't eat anything but meat and potatoes.
His hair is no bigger. It's no smaller either.
No, that's true.
Roll out. Askew fake the handoff, gives it far side. First catch for number one, Dane Dunn, second catch of the game. And he is close to another first down near the 30-yard line of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they'll give him 9.
Dane Dunn.
As you said, the second completion for SQ. Same play, just a different receiver that time. A little rollout and a drag pattern across the middle from the tight end.
On 2nd and 1 from the 31-yard line. Bowling Green goes back to the ground, and they get swallowed up. They're trying to move the pile.
A straight dive play to Orff right up the middle that time. Nothing doing at all.
They may give him, they're going to give him forward progress back to the line of scrimmage. Better to bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, good push by the defensive line in the middle for Louisiana, and we've got a timeout on the field.
Taken by Louisiana, taken by the defense with 3:01 to go in the opening quarter. It's the Bobcats 8, the Bulldogs 6 in the Mayor's Cup on Eagle 102. Third and 1 for the Bobcats from the 31-yard line. Couldn't get the dive across the marker. On 2nd down, they'll try again here on 3rd down.
A couple other first quarter scores for you. Helias leads Hannibal 7-0. Kirksville leads Macon in a little bit of surprise, 14-0. Putnam County over Highland 6-0. Triopia leads Pleasant Hill 16-0.
And we'll continue to update you on scores from around the area as we go on here in week 1. 3:01 to go in the first quarter. Long first quarter. SQ with the sneak, and he gets about 5 for a first down.
Yeah, that's Dalton used to do that a lot last year. He'd catch the defense worrying about the running backs and just go.
Yeah.
And he went a lot.
Yes, he did. Boy, good crowd here tonight for week 1 despite the heat.
Yeah, there is. I pleasantly surprised, actually.
The grandstand across the way, plus the whole track. Bouncing off the first wave was SQ.
Yeah, a little option play that time to the left. He decided to keep it.
Looks like got about 4.
Yeah, looks like what they'll give him.
Brings up 2nd.
He's up to 14 yards on the ground here in this first quarter.
I think some Bowling Green fans have snuck onto the main grandstand here on the Louisiana side in front of the press box.
Possibly. It looks like there's no place to sit over on the other side.
No, they're working the whole shebang, the whole track. Roll out. The pass is to Bryant. He gets past his man to the end zone, and he is. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Blaine Bryant. His second, 1 receiving, 1 rushing, and it's 14-6.
22-yard pass and reception at the 154 mark here in the first quarter.
That was a nice sidestep he gave after catching that ball. Kind of raised the ball above the head of the defender as he tiptoed sideways, and then it was all green grass in front of him. They'll go for 2 again. And again, it's Blaine Bryant in virtually untouched for the 2-point conversion to make it 16-6. A 10-point Bowling Green lead, 1:54 to go in the first on Eagle 102. 16-6, Bowling Green leads. Minute 54 to go in the first, and the Bobcats want to tighten up that kick coverage after Green returned the last kickoff for a touchdown.
Yeah, let's see what they do this time around. I suspect there was some conversation about that.
Orff to kick off. Both his kicks have gone all the way down to the 5-yard line.
They have been good ones, and there's another one, a little shorter this time.
Yep, he can run into it about the 7. Here's Green, and gets away from a man on the near sideline and run out of bounds. Hit almost late. I think some Bulldogs on the sideline got knocked over.
Yeah, he might have got hit a couple steps out, and one of the linemen comes up gimping a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's a backup, at least on special teams, Booth.
Where are they going to mark it? He was on the sideline, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Looks like they're going to mark it at the 33.
Looks like Green got the wind knocked out of him a little bit, too. He's hunched over on the near sideline.
24-yard kickoff return. Another good return, good field position at their own 33-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got to see what they can do on offense. They didn't move the ball at all. In fact, had negative yardage on their first series.
Harrison, handoff on first down. And not much there, gain of about a yard.
Yeah, just a straight dive play up the middle.
Brady Shepard on the run.
Number 9, Brady Shepard, gain of a yard on the play.
Just don't know if that's going to work very often tonight. Because defensively, the Bulldog line's doing fine, but offensively, they've yet to be able to move these big boys for Bowling Green.
Now you gotta figure out something, maybe a little play action or something.
Well, and Bowling Green's bringing the backers too quite a bit, jamming the open areas and
mind your gaps. On 2nd and 9, or almost 2nd and 8, ball came out. Looked like, and Bowling Green says they have it. And they do.
They do. Looks like maybe Hunt or 69. I'm not sure who came up with it.
Yeah, it was either Hunt or Jakari Clark, and a turnover gives it to Bowling Green with another short field, and they may have enough time with 50.4 seconds to go to tack on another one here in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's the thing you can't have if you're the Bulldogs. You got to hang on to the football.
Yeah, that was one of our keys to the game leading into this one.
It's always important, but in a situation like we have here tonight, it's most important.
Yeah. When you're a heavy underdog, you can't be giving up the football on top of it.
Extra chances.
Askew, roll out, throws back across the middle, wide open, but overthrows his intended target.
Intended for Walker Chandler, but he overshot him by about 3 yards.
Not a bad ball, a little wobble to it.
Well, and Chandler was going across. Askew was rolling to his right, and Chandler was going from right to left, so he kind of had to throw across his body by the time he got set, and probably caused him to overshoot him a little bit.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Good design on the play action pass. Louisiana bit.
And they fake the handoff this time. Askew takes it on the far side. He's got one man to beat. That man is blocked, and he is into the end zone. Jace Askew got a good block. Who was that on the far side? Drew Dalton through the block.
34 yards.
And a touchdown for Bowling Green, and they do add another one here in the first quarter as Askew crosses the line for the first time in this campaign. Makes it 22-6 with 34.7 seconds to go in the quarter.
Well, that's what we talked about, the quick strike stuff.
And they really wanted a quick strike with the pass across the middle, and
right.
That didn't materialize, so they went with the run, and Askew takes it for 34. Rollout, going to try and pass for the 2-point conversion. No, Askew takes it himself, and he is in for the 2-point conversion. They are perfect 3 for 3 on 2-point tries, and it's 24-6. Bowling Green leading Louisiana, 27.3 seconds to go in the first on Eagle 102. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter here in the Mayor's Cup. Bowling Green has added another and lead 22-6. 34-yard run by the quarterback, Jace Heskey. He adds his own 2-point conversion.
Well, that kick return woke Bowling Green up, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Seems to have.
Yeah, they don't like allowing first half points.
See, Green's not back deep this time.
No, I think he took a hit last time. So this one goes into the end zone, and it's marked for a touchback.
Kickoff results and a touchback.
Yeah, I don't see him on the sideline. He's out there, but he was at one of the upbacks, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder if they were trying to bait him into kicking short that time, maybe catch the Bobcats napping.
The Bulldogs will take over on their own 20-yard line. First and 10.
So Louisiana negative on offense so far from the line of scrimmage. Got a ton of return yards. But not so much offensively from the line of scrimmage. They've got to get something going.
26.8 seconds to go in the quarter. They start at their 20.
Well, I imagine they'll run one play and then let this run out, I would suspect.
Play clock down to 10 as they break the huddle. Down to 6 as they set the line. 3 and 2, and they get the play off at the final second, and a flag comes out. Ooh, and somebody just got thrown down by a Bowling Green Bobcat.
Yeah, that was the running back. Who had that?
But there is a flag on the field.
Shepard on the carry.
Yeah, I think, was that 42 that threw him down?
Like
Bryson Brandenberger?
Looks like no gain.
Inadvertent flag. No penalty.
Inadvertent flag. Oh,
Interesting. So 2nd and 10.
early in the year. Inadvertent flag.
It looked pretty
I never have understood
purposeful.
that. I never have understood that in football because you don't have to really just hurry and throw the flag. You can kind of wait and see the whole play, right? And they're going to let the time run out.
And that'll do it for the first quarter. It's the Bowling Green Bobcats 22, the Louisiana Bulldogs 6. Back with the second quarter after this on Eagle 102. Well, wipe that. We're still in the first quarter.
Yeah, what's going on?
Bowling Green took a timeout with 6 seconds on the clock.
Oh, my Lord.
So
not quite sure what the point of that is.
I don't know either, but it's 2nd and 9 for Louisiana.
That's kind of
from their own.
That's pretty odd.
21-yard line. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think
gamesmanship.
I don't think 5 seconds. If they're going to fumble this next play, they'll fumble it on the other end too.
Yeah. Looks like they're going to try a pass here. Roll out to the near side. Harrison puts it up. There's a flag thrown.
Yeah, I think the defender took out the receiver beyond the 5 yards. So I imagine it's going to be defensive holding. We'll see.
Yeah, they'll talk about it a little bit.
Time did run out.
Yep.
But they'll have a
on time down.
Right? I don't know what the official's doing, walking the other way.
The flag is sitting at the 29-yard line.
Well, they're talking to Mark St. Clair, so the penalty must be on Louisiana.
Yeah, Coach Pafford up here was screaming for offensive pass interference.
So they're going to decline the penalty, whatever it was.
So you take a timeout and then you decline the penalty.
Well, they're going to say offensive pass interference, which that may have happened too, but I also saw the other receiver. There were two receivers pretty close together, and one guy got wiped out by the defender, and they called the pass interference on the other receiver, I take it.
So it'll be 3rd down and about 9, I believe, when we come back. Start of the second quarter after this. It's Bowling Green 22, Louisiana 6 on Eagle 102. Start of the second quarter from Cunningham Field. Mark Fronick, Jim Ross. And it's Bowling Green up 24-6 after 1 quarter of play.
Or 22-6. I think they changed it on the scoreboard, didn't they?
So they must not have given him that last two-point conversion.
Yeah, I thought he was in too.
Yeah, they signaled he put the hands up like he was across the line. Maybe they got overruled.
A couple other first quarter scores. Centray leads Mexico 6-0. Triopia 16-0 over Pleasant Hill. Clark County over Scotland County 14-0. Hallsville leads Palmyra 16-0. Game of interest to folks.
3rd and 9. Roll out for Harrison, and he is destroyed shy of the 20-yard line.
First time he's run, and that just developed way too slow. And the defense shot the gap, and it'll be a loss of 2.
4th and 11.
And they'll have to punt it away.
The last punt did not go extremely well. Off the side of the foot of Harrison. And they try the same thing again. And this one, a little straighter. It'll bounce at the 50 and stay on the field and be downed by Louisiana as Joe Pitzer downs it at the Bobcat 43.
Yeah, good job by Ethan Harrison that time to kick away from the returner. Got a nice roll, about an 8-yard roll. And Bowling Green to take over on their own 42-yard line, the worst field position they've had so far tonight.
Yeah, previous worst was what, the 45?
Yeah, 45. Mm-hmm.
Minute gone almost here in the 51 seconds gone in the second quarter. And Bowling Green looking to put this game out of reach here before halftime.
That they are.
Askew, a handoff to Bryant. He breaks through, puts the forearms up and gains a couple more yards. He gets about 8.5.
Had to hang on to the football for dear life right at the end of that.
Yeah. And I think it was that forearm he put up, almost knocked the ball loose from himself.
Looks like they're going to give him 9 on the carry.
Takes him across the 50 to the 49.
Puts him over 50 yards on the ground tonight so far.
Handoff, no. Askew a pitch to the near side. And they'll get the first down, but not a whole bunch more. That was an interesting development on that play.
Yeah, a little option play to the right that time. Askew pitched it to Bryant. Looks like they're going to give him about, they haven't marked it yet. They're going to give him 2, but that's enough for the first down.
Takes down to the Bulldog 47. They wind the clock down to 10:20 to go in the half.
Bryant's 7th carry of this first quarter.
They split wide, 2 to the far side. And it's a handoff off the middle, and they'll push the pile for a gain of about 5 on first down.
And was that Bryant again? Nope.
Nope.
That was
That's
Dane
Dane Dunn.
His first carry from scrimmage. He has a reception in the ball game.
Gain of 5 on the play brings up 2nd down and 5.
This one goes for 5 and takes him across the 45 to about the 42. Under 10 minutes to go in the half. Mayor's Cup here at Louisiana. Another new runner in there for Bowling Green is
Milosevic.
Yeah, Rowan Milosevic gets a carry, spun off 1 tackle, gained about 2. And it'll be 3rd down.
His first carry tonight.
4 gain on the play.
So it'll be 3rd and about 3
3rd down.
from the Louisiana 40-yard line.
Bryant took a play off. Milosevic back to the sideline. Brandenburger comes in to block. Orff will sit this play out.
Power I formation.
Good lead block there from Brandenburger, but it's going to be very close here on 3rd down. And he got it, it looks like.
Looks like he did, yep. So they'll give him 4.
Result of the carry is a 1st down.
Needed 3.5, he got 4.
Ball is on the Bulldogs.
That takes down to the 36-yard line. 8:27 to play in the half. So Blaine racking up yards. Oh, good step. And he falls forward for a gain of about 4.
Blaine Bryant.
And that was the first move we've seen that was
Gain
emblematic of the All-State running back from last year, right? A little jump to the left that time. We saw that a lot last year. He picked up, looks like they're going to give him 4, maybe 5.
Yep. 2nd and 6. Fakes the handoff to Bryant, goes to Orff on the far side, and he's got one man to beat. It's Harrison, and he's in. Touchdown, Bobcats, with 7:42 to go. Easton Orff puts it in.
33-yard run. He showed some speed, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Good misdirection.
Yeah, it was. They faked it to Bryant on the pitch and handed it off to Orff going the other direction, and got to the sideline and beat one man for the touchdown.
Yeah, he just blew past Harrison for the score. 7:42 to go here in the first half. Looks like they're going to go for 2 again here, try and make it 30-6. Spread a man wide to the near side. Put Orff in motion. Bryant takes it and spins across the line for the 2-point conversion. 30-6. Bobcats lead Louisiana in the 2023 Mayor's Cup on Eagle 102. So, Jim Ross, what do you think of the new look Bobcats so far?
Well, it's not much different than what we saw last year, right? A lot more running.
The names may have changed, but
the names have changed. The scheme's pretty much the same. I think you can obviously see that the newness still hasn't worn off yet for SQ and maybe even Bryant, but as they continue on in this, keep in mind that they had the Hannibal defense in the shootout or jamboree, and they got roughed up. So now they're starting to show their ability a little bit.
Green back deep, comes to the near side, gets around one man, still fighting all the way to the 35 and run out of bounds.
Yeah, they gotta stop this hitting him in the 7, 8 yards off the field. But yeah, from the 10-yard line, another good return by Green.
Walker Chandler forced him out, but not after he got out to the 35-yard line, and I think we've got a water break.
Water break. I mean, once the guy's knocked out of bounds, you just can't allow him to truck him.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 25-yard return.
7:33 to go in the second quarter. It's Bowling Green 30, Louisiana 6 on Eagle 102. Did we have the Hallsville-Palmyra score?
Hallsville was ahead
16 to nothing after one.
Yeah, by a couple touchdowns. Monroe leads Mark Twain now 12 to nothing. South Shelby, I just lost it. It just disappeared on me. They were up on Milan 24 to nothing now.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Putnam over Highland 6-0. No update on the Pleasant Hill Triopia scores. Does Pittsfield play tomorrow?
No, they had the lightning delay, remember?
Oh, that's right. You said that.
At Athens.
Kind of hard to believe, isn't it? Not a cloud in the sky here.
Yeah.
Where is Athens? Is that way east? You have any idea? Greenfield
Out by
leads
Springfield.
Greenfield leads Brown County, kind of in our area, 22-0.
Hand off on first down. They'll get a couple. As Louisiana starts on the ground with Shepard.
Brady Shepard.
So
Gain
Brady.
of 2.
Gain of 2 on the play brings up second down and 8.
Louisiana still in negative yardage from the line of scrimmage. Just have not been able to get anything going up front. The defense for Bowling Green has been good so far. Only score a 95-yard touchdown run by DeMarco Green for Louisiana on a kickoff.
Yeah, kickoff return for a touchdown, and it was impressive. He's been impressive in special teams all game long.
Yeah, he's got 159 yards in return yardage.
Yeah, you don't want your special teams
To lead
outgaining. Yeah,
yeah, that's problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they really. I mean, what have they attempted? One pass.
Right, maybe 2. The other.
Flag comes out.
Harrison
They ran
got
out of
sacked.
time.
Yep, delay of game. Second penalty of the game on Louisiana that's been taken.
On the offense.
So that'll wipe off the 2-yard gain and make it 2nd and 13.
And the Louisiana team's kind of got that little mope going with them right now, don't they? You picking up on that?
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know if they're wearing down because of the heat or because of the score or a combination of all the above.
2nd and 13. Green is the deep back. And Harrison will take it himself to the near side. They'll get the penalty yardage back. But it's going to be 3rd and about 7, it looks like.
Yeah, he scampered out to about the 39. It looks like they might mark it.
Yeah, gain of 6.
Well, actually, it was a 5-yard.
Yeah, they gave him 7.
Yeah.
And 7.
Down to 6:29 to go in the first half. 30-6. It's not one of those prototypical Bowling Green blowouts quite yet.
Not yet. It'd be nice if Louisiana could get something going offensively here, although it's 3rd, as you said, and 7.
Put a man in motion to the far side. Dropping back, throws to the near side, and through the
my
hands of
goodness.
Cooper Lumley.
He was all alone
Yep.
and had nothing but green grass. There wasn't a defensive player within 15 yards of him, and it went right through his hands.
Yeah, I think he kind of got his head twisted around a little bit. Lost sight of the ball just for a second.
They faked the sweep right and a little play action and drug the tight end, and he was all alone.
Oh. And the Bowling Green coaches up here are breathing a sigh of relief.
Well, and, you know, you talk about having something positive happen to
Change your fortunes, yeah.
Get a little giddy up in their body language. That would have done it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's 4th down, or they're going to punt it again, it looks like.
And it.
Oh, good punt that time.
And rolls out of bounds. I think that's going to be right at the 20-yard line. So that's a real good punt for Louisiana. And the worst starting field position for Bowling Green.
Yeah.
So they've got 6 minutes and 24 seconds. They're up 30-6.
That punt had a little spiral to it.
Yes, it did.
That was for real.
Bowling Green needs 2 unanswered scores really to set up the running clock in the second half.
Well, there's plenty of time for that, for sure.
Louisiana's done a good job making that clock move. That's probably what they've done better than anything tonight.
Yeah.
That and kick returns.
They've taken a lot of time getting each play off, for sure.
Inside handoff, and moving the pile, dragging the pile was Bryant that time for a gain of about 4. Be 2nd and 6.
Gain of 4 on the play.
As we mentioned, he's a tough runner inside. 10th carry for 65 yards for Bryant here in the first half.
Bobcats, full huddle, break it and come to the line with 22 on the play clock. Keeper that time by Eskew, and he's taken end over end.
Hit by Harrison that time, took his feet out from under him, did a little semi-flip, but he got a first down.
Yes, he did.
He got 6 plus, another 7, give him 13.
Yeah, Jace has a lot of arms and legs, by the way, so that when he goes end over end, it looks maybe a little worse than it is.
61 yards on the ground for Eskew.
Pitch this time to Bryant. Short pitch. He's got the corner. He's got a hold, and he's going to run for a while, but this one's going to come back, it looks like.
Flag on the play.
Yep. He's in for the score, but this one is definitely coming back on a holding call right about midfield.
That flag came from the back judge. He showed a nice arm there, too.
Yes, he did. And on a night like this, that's a lot of wasted energy.
Isn't it, though? Isn't it, though? Sometimes, don't you wish, as a running back, if it's a penalty against your guys, you just blow it dead so I don't run 50 yards. Now I got to come back.
I'm going to go ahead and take a knee here.
Yeah, I'm going to come back and start over. 3rd penalty of the game on Bowling Green.
2nd holding call.
Yes, sir. 25 yards total for their penalties on 3 penalties. But that waves off a touchdown.
Yep. And takes it back all the way to their own, 32, and they're going to call a timeout. Louisiana with 5:12 to go in the first half. 30-6, Bowling Green leads here in the first half on Eagle 102. (30-6), Bowling Green leads. They've got the ball here with 5:12 left at Louisiana High School, Cunningham Field.
Yeah, ball all the way back on their own, 33-yard line?
That's right. After the holding call, it's 1st and 12. Call it.
Couple of scores for you while we get through this timeout. Bishop LeBlond over North Shelby in the third, 44-36. Elias leads Hannibal. Ooh, that's interesting, 14-0. Kirksville 28-0 over Macon. Clark County 14-0 over South Shelby. Putnam County leads Highland 14-12. Hallsville 22-6 over Palmyra. South Shelby leads Milan 24-0. Centralia leads Mexico 6-0. Monroe City over Mark Twain 20-0, and Triopia has added another score. They lead Pleasant Hill 22-0.
Clark County, one of the first super stadiums for high school football, and another flag comes out pre-snap on the defense.
Neutral zone infraction on Louisiana that time.
So I'll take it from 1st and 12 to 1st and 7.
Yeah, the Clarence Cannon Conference is really quite interesting nowadays. Everybody's got turf, I think, but Centralia, who's the perennial power, and you'd think they'd have been the first to have.
You would
turf.
think.
Yeah.
I think Clark County was the first, weren't they?
They were, I believe.
Oh, now Bowling Green jumps, and it'll be 1st and 12.
All of a sudden,
Hankies
everywhere.
Still 5:12 to go in the second quarter.
You know, when you get really hot, your mind doesn't work like it normally does.
Mine doesn't work
Whether you're hot or
usually, yeah.
not. Well, I'll leave that alone.
Yeah. Thank you. Ask you, hand off.
Matalovich again.
Yep.
Or Milosevic, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Matalovich was a couple years ago. Nice run, though.
Got about 6. Yeah, 6.
By Ronan, right?
Rowan, yeah.
Yeah. Rowan. I can't read my own handwriting.
And again, that's handoff to Milosevic. And he spins off a tackle, and he's got more. Across the 50. Nice run by Rowan down to the 48-yard line of the Bulldogs.
Great spin that time, yeah. 12-yard gain.
1st and 10. Ball just crossed midfield at the Bulldog.
Clock running. Now they'll stop it. They didn't stop it to move the chains. I think Coach Sinclair may have taken a timeout.
He did.
With 4:31 to go, it's 30-6. Bowling Green leading at Louisiana on Eagle 102. .431 to go. Bowling Green leading Louisiana by a score of 30-6. Bobcat ball at their own 48, or the Louisiana 48. Week 1 football here from Cunningham Field. They keep it on the ground. They've been
I believe that was
Brandenburger.
42, yeah.
And he gets about 4 down to the 44-yard line.
Short gain in the play.
So the clock continues to run down to 4:10. Again, it's Bryson, and he's got first down yardage. Across the 40 to the 36.
Carried by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, nice 8-yard run that time.
By the Bobcats results in a first down.
And they'll bring
10.
a little different personnel in there for this first down play.
Yeah, Coach St. Clair told me he wanted to see some of these other guys play.
On 1st and 10, it's a pitch out to Blaine Bryant. And he gets another holding call, and he's going to run for about 30 more yards and run out of bounds, but this one's coming back as well. Third hold.
Yep. There'll be some conversation about that in the next week. I guarantee that.
They've all been on that left side of the line.
5th penalty of the half.
And it's a young line. It's rebuilt this year.
Sure. They lost a lot of good big beef up front.
Mm-hmm. That'll take it back to the 42-yard line. And a lot of smart football players. They've been in that system a long time.
Right. That's one thing Bowling Green's been very good at, keeping consistency and hiring assistants and the like to keep things going in the right direction.
Fake the handoff, and keeping it himself was Eskew. I don't know if that was a fake or if he really just couldn't get it into the arms of Dane Dunn.
He gained, a yard maybe?
Yeah, down to the 38. So it's second down and 11 and a half.
Yep, that's about right. 2:58 to play here in the second quarter. No misdirection again.
Yep, Bryant, and he's tripped up. They don't get his ankle. He's in for the score that time. Instead, it'll be third down. Inside the 30 to the 28. Down to 2:36 to go. Third and 2. And a timeout going to be taken by the defense again with 2:24 to go in the second half, or the first half, second quarter.
Seems like it ought to be the second half.
Right, 30-6, Bowling Green leads. Big third down coming up on Eagle 102. (30-6), Bowling Green leading Louisiana. It'll be a 3rd and 2, and just got an update that Pittsfield game at Athens. Athens is completely without power.
Oh my.
So they pushed back the start of that game to 10 o'clock because they won't have officials for tomorrow. So they're going to play it no matter what tonight. Started with a lightning delay, now a power outage affecting the entire town.
Wow.
Here's Bryant, and he stayed on his feet, but brought down by the next guy. It's going to be 4th and 1. I think he may have been able to stretch out at first to get that, but he got away from the tackle and kind of backed up a little bit. That's a big play for Louisiana, but they got to do it again here with a minute 59 to go.
Yeah, their goal is to try to keep Bowling Green out of the end zone before half.
Yep. And to the near side, he's got the first down. Just put his head down and took out Cooper Lumley for the first. So they convert their first 4th down of the season.
Yeah, they're going to give him about 5 on that carry.
Yep, inside the 25 to the 23. Clock rolls down to a minute 43.
He's been the workhorse. That's his 13th carry of the half.
Bobcats won another one here before the second quarter ends. Inside handoff and done. Down inside the 15 to the 12 with a minute 23 to go. Another first down.
13 yards for Dane on the carry.
First and 10 from the 12. Minute 15 as the clock rolls again. And they have another pre-snap penalty False start on Bowling Green.
Penalty number 6.
30-6. Bowling Green leading Louisiana. Takes it outside the 15 to about the 17-yard line. 1st and 15. Coach Sinclair sends the play in with Eskew and Bryant. Dunn goes to the sideline. We're under a minute to go in quarter number 2. 55 seconds on the clock. Pitch out to Bryant on the far side, trying to get around that edge. Looking for the pylon, and he lowers the shoulder and is in. Touchdown. Bryant is 3rd of the night, 2nd rushing, and Bowling Green extends their lead to 36-6.
Puts him over 100 yards for the night. 22-yard touchdown run.
And a 30-point lead. .6 seconds to go in the half. They'll go for 2 here to try and get us to a 32-point advantage. Rollout. Askew puts it in the air, and it's caught for the 2-point conversion. This is number 5, Walker Chandler, on the reception to make it 38-6. Final minute of the second quarter, 43.6 seconds to go on Eagle 102. Now we're looking at a 9:35 start time for that Pittsfield game at
Well, it was
Havens.
pretty hot when we got in this press box tonight, but I'm thankful we're not doing that game.
Yeah, right? I remember a game at Shelbina that we had torrential rains, lightning delays.
Playoff game.
Yep.
About 2 inches of water standing on the entire field. It was crazy.
I remember a day when Bowling Green played a playoff game, and it was about 70 degrees, and Louisiana played a playoff game, and it was snowing
Yeah.
in the same state. I was up at, where was that? Memphis, Missouri.
Oh, yeah. Raining and cold in Memphis.
Yep, I had some snowflakes.
Another good return by Green. He brings it out. They haven't marked it yet. They don't get in any hurry marking it, these guys. Going to put it at
Crew
about
hasn't been bad, especially for
17 yards on the return.
first week of the season.
Should be fresh, shouldn't you?
Yeah. But, it's week 1 for them, too. So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, and we're down to 34.7 seconds to go. You take a shot or you take
Why not?
a knee?
Well, they haven't had any luck throwing the ball. The one wide open pass was a missed connection.
It looks like they got a hand off to Green, bounces off the first man, gets out to the 30. And that may just do it for the first half here. We're down to 25 seconds.
See if they want to run another play. They don't have to if they don't want. They're going to. Good
Yeah,
for
we're
them.
down to 15 seconds. This is where you take your shot, right?
Keep firing. Heck yeah. Still got bullets in your gun.
Said he'll take it himself, was looking for that pitch out to Green, and it wasn't there. And that will do it for the first half of this ball game. After 2 quarters here in the Mayor's Cup at Cunningham Field, it's Bowling Green 38 and Louisiana 6. Back with the halftime report for you after this on Eagle 102. 38-6 at the half. Mark Froenig, Jim Ross back here at Cunningham Field. Bowling Green in control of this one. Probably not the well-oiled machine that we've seen the last couple of years, but with the personnel changes across the board for the Bobcats, a nice first half of football.
Yeah, it was. A lot of things going on this week with the temperatures and having practice times that were all screwy, and so we're all creatures of habit. And once you get out of your routine, for instance, Bowling Green didn't even come tonight until a little bit right about 7 o'clock, and because they didn't want to be out in the heat any longer than they had to. So everybody's routine's all messed up, and they've shown well for all that's been going on, and also taking into consideration the new personnel they have going tonight.
Biggest knock for Bowling Green, the penalties, especially those holds.
Yeah, a lot of penalties. They had 6 for 45 yards and two touchdowns called back, if my memory serves me right. So this could be a lot worse for Louisiana than it is, if it not for those penalties. No turnovers, though. They held on to the football, and it was typical Mark St. Clair offense, pretty much ground and pound. They had 250 yards on the ground, 45 through the air for 285 total. Defensively, though, they were great. Louisiana only had 5 yards from scrimmage in that first half. No yards passing, but they had 176 yards in return yardage, which is crazy.
And their only score.
Right, for 181 yards. They had 3 penalties for 15 yards. So, again, you're going to work on some things right for the second half. The conversation, like you said, is going to be about penalties in the Bowling Green locker room. In the Louisiana locker room, it's like, we got to get the offense going, boys.
And it just seems like, our crew kind of picked this up a little bit. Bowling Green's packing in that middle, and Louisiana's not really doing much to try and stretch them out.
No, they're packing it in, and then they're shooting the linebackers in the gaps almost every play because they have 2 pass plays. They attempted 2 pass plays, and one of them wasn't close, and the other one, a wide open receiver couldn't corral it, which would have gone for about a 55-yard touchdown. But other than that, they don't have to respect the pass at all, so they're just sending everybody. They've got nine guys in the box pretty much every play, and they just completely shut down the Louisiana running game.
38-6, Bowling Green leading Louisiana after 2 quarters. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look around the area, and stats still to come as well on the Eagle 102 halftime report. About 14 minutes to go before we start the second half. Eagle 102 halftime report with Bowling Green leading Louisiana 38-6 here in Week 1, the Mayor's Cup here in 2023, and a great way to start the football season. Great crowd here tonight, and some pretty good action from both of these teams. Louisiana still needs to figure out the offense, but they had some excitement in the kick return game from DeMarco Green. But you have the first half stats tallied up.
I do. 14 carries for Blaine Bryant, 101 yards. Easton Corbin carried it 3 times for 34. JSQ 6 times for 62 yards. Dane Dunn 2 carries for 18 yards. Rowan Milosevic 3 carries for 20 yards. Drew Dalton had 1 carry for 5 yards, and Brandenburg came in and had a couple carries for 10 yards. SQ was 3 for 4 through the air with 42 yards. His favorite receivers were Bryant and Drew Dalton. 6 penalties for 45 yards, as we mentioned. For Louisiana, statistically, not much to tell you except for, as Mark mentioned, DeMarco Green. He had 5 kickoff returns, I should say, for 176 yards, including a 95-yard kickoff return. On the ground, however, 3 carries for Green, 4 yards. Brady Shepard with 4 carries for 2 yards. Ethan Harrison, 2 carries for 5, and Cooper Lumley with 1 carry and a loss of 6 on that. So, you know, it's like we kind of led into this halftime show. Louisiana's got to figure out something up front, and then Bowling Green's got to take care of themselves on the penalties.
Exactly, and you know, you get the back-to-back possessions here. Bowling Green will have the ball to start the second half. If they can score on that, which they haven't been stopped yet tonight, then you got the running clock, and you can start to work in some more players. But I thought Bowling Green did a good job of working in some different guys, especially in the backfield.
Yeah, I really wasn't paying terribly close attention what they were doing up front, but yeah, they got a number of guys in. You know, like we said, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys carry the football in the first half, and that's including the quarterback. So 6 running backs got in there and got a little action. So that's what you want. That's what Coach Mark Sinclair mentioned he wanted to see happen in this game, if at all possible, and he's getting his wish.
They put the 2 points back on the board.
Well, they did, didn't they?
They put Jace Heskew's 2-point conversion back on the board here at halftime. That is interesting.
Well, we rang it up as a score.
Yeah, he put the arms up.
As a conversion and called it 24-6, and then the next thing you know, the scoreboard said 22-6.
So it's 40-6 at the half.
Imagine that.
Man, this has made us look bad tonight.
Well, it's interesting. First, what'd you say? You know, it's the first game of the year, right?
Don't believe everything that you read,
you
right?
See. That's you see, yeah.
So 40-6 Bowling Green. And they'll have the ball to start the second half. We'll take a break, come back with scores from around the area after this on Eagle 102. Getting ready for the second half here from Louisiana, 40-6 Bowling Green. They had it at 38. Now it says 40. They took Jace Eskew's two-point conversion off the board. Put it back on if you're just
Flip
catching up with
flip
it.
a coin.
Yeah,
Flip
yeah.
a coin. Flip
All
a
right,
coin.
some scores from around the area.
Let's just start at the top. Elias leads Hannibal 14-7, and if you've been living under a rock, Aeneas Williams, the running back for Hannibal, is going to Notre Dame, so they're having a tough go of it in Jeff City tonight. Bishop LeBlanc leads North Shelby. That's in the third quarter, 44-42. Kirksville at half, 28-0 over Macon. That's a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
Halftime, Triopia leads Pleasant Hill 22-0. Clark County leads Scotland County at half, 30-0. Centralia over Mexico at half, 14-0. Brookfield Trenton, that's an early score still, 6-6. That's back in the first. Hadn't been updated for a while. South Shelby leads Milan, holy moly, 32-0. That's a little bit of a surprise too. I talked to the coaching staff as Louisiana played in the Jamboree at North Shelby, and a couple guys said they might be the real deal this year. That they throw it around and got some big boys up front. So we'll have to keep an eye on them as the year wears on.
Yep.
Putnam County leads Highland 14-12. Hallsville over Palmyra at 22-6. Monroe City over Mark Twain 26-0. Let's see. I thought I had a couple of other bigger schools down here. People may not care about Zumwalt North. Jason Camus, who coached here at Louisiana, is a line coach at Zumwalt North. However, they lead Howe, interestingly enough, 17-14. Greenfield over Brown County 22-0, and Eureka leads Fort Zumwalt West 15-0. And as far as we know, is it New Athens or Athens?
Athens, yeah.
Athens Pittsfield game will start at 9.
9:35.
Oh, yeehaw.
And that was a lightning delay. Then the power went out, and they are going to play that no matter what tonight. If you're a Saukey fan, you're going to have a late night.
Well, if you haven't left for the game yet, if you hustle, you might make it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Athens up by Springfield. So, yeah. Here it's 40-6. Bowling Green leading Louisiana. We'll take one more break, set the stage for the second half as we continue the Eagle 102 halftime report on KJFM. Back at Louisiana, Cunningham Field, Mark Froelich, Jim Ross. Bowling Green leading the Bulldogs as they come back onto the field. We're about 6 minutes away from kicking off this second half. Bowling Green will receive the second half kickoff.
One more quick score of interest. We mentioned it before the game. Quincy High leads Quincy Notre Dame 28-6.
Ooh.
Quincy High's got the real deal at quarterback this year. There's somebody, if you want to see him throw it around the yard a little bit, go watch them play a game.
So what does Blair Oaks do this year?
They're up a class, right?
Yeah, and they for the first time they haven't had one of those brothers in at the quarterback position in like 12 years or something like that.
Yeah, they're missing that. I think they have a new coach too, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be interesting for them. Bump up in class is always a challenge, and interestingly, while we got a little time, let's talk about districts. They announced those today, actually.
Yeah.
And let's take a look at that. Let's see if I can find Bowling Green. Bowling Green's in with Clark County Highland. That might be softball.
Yeah, the softball ones came out.
Football's out too.
Yeah.
I've got Louisiana's football. It's very interesting. Listen to this. Chaffee, Crystal City, Fayette, Harrisburg, Russellville, St. Vincent, Tipton, and Van Far. Not any travel in that district.
No, not at all.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
Yeah. Chaffee is near Cape Girardeau. Because when I worked in Sykeston, my number one fan was Chucky from Chaffee.
Here's Bowling Green's football. Clark County, Highland, Mark Twain, Monroe City, South Shelby, and Van Far. So that's kind of an interesting interesting district too.
Yeah, that's
so we can
any district with Bowling Green and Monroe in it is going to be a tough district to get out of.
Yeah, well, Bowling Green's Class 2, and Monroe bumped up a class, I guess, because they've pretty much always been Class 1. So yeah, with the districts, we were talking about it off the air. The state has decided in their infinite wisdom that they want these classes to be even in the number of teams that are in them, and that's delineating between the boys and the girls teams. So, for instance, the Louisiana softball team's Class 2, the football team's Class 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
and last year,
Bowling Green's basketball team.
Yeah, the boys and girls were in two different classes.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know. To me, it seems crazy.
yeah, it was different with Bowling Green being in that Louisiana district on the girls' side there at Deschênes, and then the boys playing at St. Charles West. It did not make for easy travel for parents if they had a kid on both teams.
No, and that's unfair to the schools, to the kids, to the parents. I mean, it just sometimes in most everything we don't take into consideration the people that are involved in the sport.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that holds true for college sports as well, with all this conference realignment and stuff. And
let's hear it, Coach Drink.
Oh my gosh, can you?
He actually made some very good points, and to have Saban and everyone kind of piggyback on him after that was.
Well, I mean, take for instance Southern Cal and UCLA in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
With Rutgers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's coast to coast, my friends.
Yeah, exactly. It is. And for a football team, that's nothing.
Well, yeah, think about a softball team or a baseball team where they play a Sunday afternoon game and you got to travel all the way across the country and then be in class the next day.
Exactly.
Because the bat and ball sports are a little different in terms of classes and such as football and basketball.
And that's why we need to have football conferences. Football-only conferences. Alone. Exactly.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of change in college football. We could take up a whole sports show talking about NIL and the transfer portal and all that stuff. And
how many Mizzou athletes have already signed those contracts? I mean, I see them every time I buy a pizza, I think now.
Yeah, well, I think the interesting part about Missouri is if I understand the bill that was just signed by the governor, that if you're a senior in Missouri going to a Missouri school on December 20th, you can start taking NIL money.
Yes.
While
so
you're
still
in
in
high
high school. Yeah.
So imagine that.
Yeah.
You're a really good high school athlete and you get a $500,000 NIL deal and you're catting around the second semester of high school, $500,000 there.
So, if any local businesses would like to pay some of the Bobcats or Bulldog players,
Right.
December
Right.
is when you can sign them up.
Exactly. I think you have to be going to a college, though.
Yeah.
and probably be wise if you were playing a sport.
Whatever. Teams are back on the field. About 40 seconds left on the halftime clock. So we're ready to kick off the third quarter of this ball game. Mark Running, Jim Ross here as it'll be Louisiana kicking the ball to Bowling Green. I miss our talks, Jim.
Yeah. Well, we might mention we got Stacey Martin with us, and he's going to join our broadcast crew. He's listening in, trying to figure out if he can make any sense out of what you and I say and do. And then I think there's going to be some changes in the way we broadcast games, but that's for another day as Louisiana's ready to kick off.
Increased coverage.
Exactly.
As Louisiana does the squibber, and it's fallen on at the 48-yard line, as putting himself on the ball is Tanner McGaw.
So I've always been baffled by that. Louisiana's done this for years, going all the way back to Steve Geschwinder days. If you kick it out of bounds, they get it on the 35 or where it goes out of bounds, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So why wouldn't you kick the ball out of bounds at the 30 and let them have it on the 35 rather than swiveling it and giving it to them at the 48? Just me thinking
That's
outside.
a good point, yeah.
Me thinking outside the box a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm up here instead of down there coaching.
Well,
among other reasons.
you got an ear with assistant coach Tommy Wallace.
Yeah.
And the pitch out goes to Bryant on the far side, and he's going to lose half a yard as busting through that time and breaking out the play. Was that Jared Wilkinson? 12?
Yeah, and what I would expect to see is the first teamers for Bowling Green in this first series. They may leave them out there longer defensively. We'll see. But if the offense can score in this possession, as you mentioned, and make it a continuous clock, I would imagine you'll start seeing some subs for the offense.
Exactly. They put Dunn in motion, roll out to the near side. Eskew, pump fake, puts the ball away. He's got the yard back, but that's it. It's going to be third and about 9.
By number 18.
Well, the defense for Louisiana hasn't been bad.
No.
I mean, they're playing one of the more prolific. Well, they led the nation in offense last year. And so are they that good this year? Maybe not, but they're still pretty darn good offensively.
Yeah.
And even though the score's 40-6, they haven't played that bad. There's some encouraging things to build off of on this defense.
Yeah, we don't have an 18 on our program, but he made that stop after a gain of 2. Eskew throwing across his body, caught on the far side. He's got the first down across the 30, down near the 25-yard line. They're going to say that tackle started at about the
And who caught that?
27.
Got your good eyes on?
By number 7.
There you go. Eli Grody.
Eli Grody with the catch. From the 48 to what? The 33?
The 27.
27.
Down to 10:18 to go in the third quarter. Askew keeps it himself, faked the handoff into the secondary and brought down across the 20 to the 15. That's going to move the chains again, another first down.
And that was Eskew again?
Yes, it was.
Double the carry is a Bobcat first down.
So now it's 1st and 10 from the 15.
He's had a good night on the ground, up to 75 yards.
Make it the 14. And nothing going on there.
That was that little misdirection play, only they handed it off to Orff that time.
Yep.
And he was stopped for a loss of a couple.
By the Bobcats.
Loss of 1 to be exact is where they stopped his forward progress. 9.5 to play. 2nd and 12. As the Bobcats looking to trigger the turbo clock here in the third quarter. First drive, roll out SQ, pass low and through the hands of the intended target on the near side. That was
Orff rolled out into the flat. And as I mentioned in basketball, that's one of those.
That was Zach Gibson, I believe, 28.
Ellsbury bounce passes.
Yeah.
At his ankles.
That was the first target at Gibson.
It was.
Can't pin that one on the receiver, though.
Nope.
Roll out again, puts it in the air again. This one's caught by Dunn. He's looking for the pylon, and he's got it. Touchdown, Dane Dunn.
15 yards for Dunn on the touchdown pass.
And the Bobcats increase that lead to 46-6. 9:03 to play here in the third quarter. And that one might send some people to find some AC.
That might.
And they're going to try and kick the extra point here.
Look at here.
Is that Gibson again? Low snap. Kick is up, and it is good. 9:03 to go. First kick of the season for Bowling Green. They lead at 47-6 over Louisiana in the Mayor's Cup here on Eagle 102. So Bowling Green gets the touchdown on the reception by Dane Dunn. How many yards that go for?
15.
15 yards. They add the Gibson extra point to make it 47-6.
I'm encouraged to see that. That was a pretty strong kick right down central.
And Orff on to kick it off. He's got the good kickoff leg.
He does. He kicked it inside the 10 pretty much every time.
One touchback. And make that 2 as that one bounces past Green into the end zone.
That was a line drive bullet to the right of Green and skips into the end zone.
So Louisiana will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20 with 8:55 to go and a running clock. Gonna have to figure out. Louisiana's put an 18 out there all night. He's not on any of our rosters.
Let's see if I've got one on here. I do not. This came from the school, so somebody must have changed the numbers.
Yep.
Would be my guess.
Last minute change of number. I don't even think the press box knows.
Well, sometimes it's not so bad being incognito, though, right?
Yeah. And he's had a couple of good plays. 47-6, Bowling Green. And not much going on first down for the Bulldogs. So they try the inside handoff. Yeah. No gain for Brady.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to give him a yardage.
Must have reached the ball forward.
As we mentioned, only 5 yards from scrimmage for Louisiana on offense in that first half. They have got to figure something out here. For no other reason than to look towards next week.
Yeah.
Because this game's pretty much decided.
With the running clock here in the second half. But you need some positives for sure. And Green Shakes his shoulders for a gain of about 2. Looks like 3rd and 7.
Trying to look and see. Yeah, looks like maybe some of the second crew's in on defense. Now. And who had that carry?
That was DeMarco.
Looking at the defense. Gave him 2.
Under 7 minutes to go in quarter number 3. And Louisiana takes a timeout. 6:49 to go in the third quarter. 47-6. Bowling Green leads on Eagle 102. Finally got a score on that Van Far game.
Yeah, 14-0 at half. Van Far leads
14-0 at
Callaway.
half. Wow,
Yeah,
Van Far leads.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's 15-14. So,
Oh, well.
yeah, South Callaway is
How time flies.
Yeah.
How time changes.
47-6 here. Bowling Green leading Louisiana.
My score stream's a little delayed tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you don't, score stream's something anybody can get on. It's a free app. You can post your scores yourself if you're at a game. So jump on there and join in the fun.
Roll out and gets away from the first tackler. That would have been a huge sack. And Harrison finally, he got some positive yardage out of that.
He did. Your initial thought was throw it away.
Yeah.
But he made positive yardage out of it.
Yep.
We're going to give him what, 2?
2 or 3. It's going to be 3rd down. Excuse me, 4th down.
Yeah, looks like they're just going to give him 2.
But that was initially a loss of about 10.
A whole bunch, yeah. And a peck of trouble for Louisiana. And they go into this regular formation, and they're going to
go for it,
my
yeah.
Goodness.
On 4th and 5, and they're going to get the first down. Over to the far side and brought down is Harrison on the keeper.
Oh,
He gets the first.
Yeah, from the 25-yard line all the way out to the 37.
Is that their first down tonight?
It is. 12 yards on the carry. Caught Bowling Green sleeping that time.
Yep.
They thought he was going to slide back and punt it. I did too, to be quite frank.
Yep.
And he took off running around right in and found some room. And then they had a face mask or a targeting penalty, it looked like.
Really?
They'll tack on another 15. So all of a sudden, Louisiana in Bowling Green territory at the 49-yard line.
Wow. The clock continues to run while they set that up. 5 minutes to go. 5:02 to be exact.
60 yards of penalties on Bowling Green now.
Wow. So the Bulldogs have it at the Bobcat 49. They put a man in motion to the near side, pitch out to Green. DeMarco trying to find the corner and is dropped for a loss at the 50.
Good job of stringing that out by the defense that time. Big number 66 got in there for the tackle. Let's see who that is. Found him on my cheat sheet here. You might have yours more readily available than mine. Lucas Jennings.
Yep.
Made a nice play. Good job by the cornerbacks to turn that thing back inside.
So it's no gain on the play, but
No.
the down marker's actually sitting in front of the pylon there, but the chain. but it's sitting exactly where it was a moment ago.
Might watch that chain gang. There's some shady characters
Yeah.
on that.
Harrison keeps it on the run. The ref took a hit.
Yeah, the umpire is the only official in harm's way. An 11-yard gain for Harrison for another first down.
Yeah, he took a pretty good shot there. So Louisiana's moving the ball here. They get it down to the Bobcat 39. And it's mostly on the legs of Ethan Harrison.
Yeah, last 2 carries good for 24 yards, 23 yards. The clock continues to run down to 3:10 in the third.
The only mark against Bowling Green was on special teams. They go up the middle, and there goes Shepard. He's going to go all the way in for the score, and there's a little scrum going on at the 33-yard line. But it's a touchdown for Louisiana, their first on offense tonight, and that makes it 47-12.
Yeah, Brady Shepard looked like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
Didn't
And I am surprised that there was no flags
That's
on the play.
That's unbelievable.
As Ben Dictula and Lucas Jennings were going at it. That was Greco-Roman.
Yes, they were.
2:56 to go here in the third quarter. 47-12 after the Louisiana touchdown by Brady. They're going to try for 2 here to make it 14.
He showed some good speed there.
Yes,
too,
he
didn't
did. And flags come out as the ball is snapped. I think that's going to be against the defense, yeah.
False start, yeah.
Oh, it's on the offense. So that'll back up this 2-point try. And you would think that would change the play call.
You would think.
Comes in from the near side.
4th penalty for 20 yards. Let's see what they call here. This would be a good spot to kind of put it up, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
See how your passing works.
They put a man in motion. That's Pitzer to the far side. Roll out to the near side. He puts it in the air, back of the end zone, tipped twice. Intended target was Cooper Lumley, but it never made it to him. And the attempt is no good. 47-12. Louisiana gets a little bit closer. Stops at, now it's still at 35, isn't it? 47-12 our score with 2:56 to go in the third on Eagle 102. So Bowling Green gives up a touchdown.
They did.
Or Louisiana earned that one because, boy, Shepard, he hit that hole and was gone.
Yeah, you had 2 nice runs by Ethan Harrison, and then Shepard with the big strike from 39 yards out. And as we said, you know, is it going to make any difference really in the outcome of this game? Probably not, but they've got a winnable game next week against Crystal City, and so get some confidence going here in this second half and be ready to go next week. And by all means, stay healthy.
And they get to play Crystal City without having to go, south of
right.
South St. Louis County into the bottoms there in the old concrete stadium, as that one was squibbed.
Yeah, at the 50-yard line, Bowling Green have it. I never understood that creative scheduling. They went to Crystal City in back-to-back years.
Yep.
Beyond me, usually a schedule, it's a home and home. But
and then Crystal City came up here later in the season for a playoff game, right?
Did they?
I believe so. They were in that district last year.
Huh.
Yeah, I think
Your
they faced
memory's
them
better-
twice.
Your memory's better than mine, then. So I'm not going to argue with you about that. I got you by a few years.
If I'm right, then maybe Crystal City liked it so much they're coming back here.
Well, they are coming back here, whether they liked it or not.
Yeah. And Orff on the carry gets a yard. He was stood up there by number 54 for the Bulldogs, Colton McCarty.
Brings up 2nd down and 9.
33 yards on the ground and 5 carries for Easton Orff tonight so far. He'll head to the sidelines and take a break. And Bowling Green slowed it down a little bit themselves, haven't they?
Yes, they have. We're down to 1:52 to go in the third quarter.
Chase Eskew still in the game, but you got a number of second string guys in as well.
Little misdirection. Bryant on the carry, and he tiptoes the sidelines and makes a move, and he's in.
Well,
another touchdown for Blaine Bryant.
As I say that, Bryant sneaks back in and goes 50 yards
And
for
he's
the
hurt.
touchdown.
Looked like he was limping a little bit as he tried to pull up. I don't know. Maybe that was a dance, but
could be.
it didn't look like a happy dance.
I think it's his 4th touchdown, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a hamstring.
Well, they're a cramp maybe.
Yeah.
With all this heat, I'd be more inclined to believe it's a cramp, but they certainly don't need that.
Yeah. 53-12 after the touchdown.
Especially when you're bringing back into the game and you're up by 35 points.
Mm-hmm. They're going to try and kick it again.
Hey, it's money again.
Yes, it is.
Need a little more lift on it, but it's right down central.
So the kick is good. The clock continues to run, so that'll probably take us down to the end of the third quarter. 54-12. Bowling Green leading Louisiana. It's the 2023 Mayor's Cup on Eagle 102. So Bowling Green scores again. Bryant came up a little bit lame after the touchdown. Hopefully, like you said, it's just a cramp. It looks like Harrison is on the Louisiana sidelines dealing with some cramping.
Yep, with all this heat and going both ways. Bryant's been going both ways much of the night. It's not hard to get a cramp. Usually in the calf is what you get them in. That's what Harrison's got going on. But as you mentioned, it looked like maybe in the hamstring area for Bryant. We don't want to speculate. I'm betting he's done for the night either way.
Oh, yeah. And a little squibber this time and falling on the far side. We're in the fourth quarter. 54-12, Bowling Green leading Louisiana. So they'll retain the Mayor's Cup.
They will. I haven't seen the Mayor's Cup. Do they still have a cup?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I think it's on the Bowling Green sideline.
Oh, well, I think you would have to give it up at the start of the game, wouldn't you?
You would think. But as we've seen, they tend to keep those things on their sideline and have kind of earned that right the last.
I haven't seen
several
either
years.
mayor here either. You can make this a big deal. Have both mayors out on
Yeah.
the field before the game started and give up the cup. And and then have the winning mayor present it
Yep.
after the game. Just an idea.
Yep. I think that's how it started.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure that's the way it started.
So Bowling Green up.
Busted
And Harrison,
play.
is thrown down, and that's not going to help that cramping situation any.
Yeah, he and the running back, I want to say it was Shepard, ran into each other. He was trying to fake the handoff and roll out, and it gave the defense time to get in there and lose about 4 yards.
Yep, back to the 30-yard line. And the clock continues to run. We're down under 10.5 minutes in this Week 1 contest.
And Bowling Green calls a timeout.
Interesting.
It is.
54-12, our score here in the fourth on Eagle 102. So Bowling Green after the timeout. There, now Cooper Lumley looks like he's cramping up for Louisiana.
Well, it's always interesting, you especially in this heat. You just can't run these guys too much. It's too dangerous. And I think there's a rule now that if there's some sort of gauge they use, and if that gauge is over 91 yards, you cannot do any outside activities in terms of practice.
Huh.
Yeah. You got to practice inside.
Say 91 degrees?
Right.
Or heat index? Or
Well, whatever that gauge measures.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly. I didn't get a good explanation on that.
Here's Green on the pitch out. He's caught and thrown down, but he'll gain a few.
He'll make up the 4-yard loss plus 1 maybe.
So that'll be 3rd and 9.
Looks like they'll give him 5, yeah.
And 9 for the Bulldogs.
Down to 10 minutes even to play in this contest.
It's almost my bedtime.
Yeah. 9:57.
To be exact. Can you sleep when you go home from one of these games?
Sure.
Can you?
Now a timeout taken as the play clock was down to 8.
Huh.
Bulldogs take this one with 9:38 to go. 54-12. They trail Bowling Green here in the fourth on Eagle 102. (54-12). Bowling Green leading Louisiana here at Cunningham Field. Week 1 action. The Mayor's Cup. We'll update you on some scores as we travel through this fourth quarter.
And you'll have to tune in next week to see where we're going or how many places we're going next week. So we got some changes in the works.
And it's a handoff up the middle. They'll get across the 40.
Well, that was Shepard, I believe. That play went for a touchdown the last time.
Yeah.
And it's good for about, 6?
Yeah, but it's going to be 4th and about 3. They need the 43-yard line to get to the first.
Correct. Well, they'll go for it, I guess, yeah.
They've converted to 1 4th down already. which eventually led to the Shepherd touchdown.
Yeah, why not? Backers look like they're coming again. They've done that all night.
DeMarco is dropped near the marker. It's going to depend on the spot. It looks like he's short. And now they're going to say first down.
Well, he pointed like it was on turnovers, and then he changed his mind. They're going to give him a first down. Looks like.
So a gain of 3 on the play and a first for DeMarco. Second, they're 2 for 2 converting fourth downs.
Yeah, that's positive.
Bowling Green 1 for 1. And we're down to 8-17 to play. The way that they're chewing up clock, this may be the final drive of the game.
Well, if they get one more first down, I tend to agree with you. Not much going on that play, however. That's that straight dive play, and the defense sniffed that one out that time. Was it Shepherd again? No, I think, yeah, it was Shepherd.
Oliver Niemeyer in on the tackle. 2nd and 10.
And 10 for the Bulldogs.
At least some positive yards for the Dogs on the offensive side from scrimmage here in the second half. And one of them was against the top defense, so.
At least most parts of it. Play clock down to 12.
Now Bowling Green's pretty much down to the second string guys on defense, however.
Here's DeMarco. And nothing much going on there. He spun out of one tackle and gains about 3. Be 3rd down and 7.
You know, that's part of the problem with having short numbers like Louisiana has. They had 31 last year. And I think they tried to play a few JV games and got halves in maybe, but I don't think they're going to be able to play any JV games this year. So these young guys aren't going to get any reps.
No.
You know, and when you're trying to build a program, that's detrimental to that for sure, because these guys that are playing right now defensively for Bowling Green, they got to play about every half last year in the at the varsity level, so they're not exactly chopped liver coming out there, where Louisiana hasn't had that luxury.
Green to the near side, and he stays in bounds. Tiptoes all the way to the house. DeMarco Green, another exciting run.
54 yards that time for Green.
Goes along with that return from early in the game, and it makes it 54-18. What a run. Yeah, Bowling Green has dominated, but Louisiana has had some moments in this game. And those are things you can build on.
For sure.
They've got some athletes. You put up, if they can convert here and get 20, that'd be an accomplishment. Back to throw. Puts it in the air, and it's almost intercepted across the middle, and he took a shot as he threw as well. So the conversion no good, 54-18. Bowling Green leading Louisiana after the DeMarco Green 54-yard run on Eagle 102. (54-18). 5:05 to go in the ball game. Bowling Green leading Louisiana. But DeMarco Green, a 54-yard touchdown, 2-point conversion, no good. And the Bobcats, some of the higher numbers they've surrendered in a regular season contest over the past several seasons.
Yeah. It's not of much concern, though.
No, I don't think so.
Again, they'll be on the road, I believe, next week at Palmyra. Palmyra's got a new field.
A couple years ago, yeah.
A couple years ago, yeah. Nice, really nice facility up there.
No tradition, but nice facility.
Right, they got out of the hole back behind the middle school. They played in forever and ever and ever. Broadcasting in that old press box was a treat, wasn't it?
Or below it.
Yeah, down in the catacombs.
Yeah. But, there's something to be said for tradition.
Oh, yeah.
And ever since they left there, they've struggled and really kind of been a mess.
There's a whole lot of the faithful that weren't real happy about all that.
Yeah. Actual kickoff and goes to the 42.
By number 6, Isaac Oberhaus.
As Isaac Oberhaus
Bobcats
gets that one.
Yeah, 0 return yards for Bowling Green tonight.
on their own 42-yard line.
Well, you can't dominate everything, right?
Well, yeah, and when they're
Will be
pooch
first and 10.
kicking
Yeah,
or
squibbing.
onside kicking or swibbing, yeah, that's just not much.
You can do with that.
I mean, in fact, in that particular case, he had some space. He could have taken off with it.
Yeah. But why with a 54-18 lead?
Oh, I would say, why not?
Well, why not?
Hey, you're a young player. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah.
Coach might not think much of it after you got done, but
We're down to 4:15 to go in this game as the clock continues to run here in the fourth quarter. Down to 7 as they come to the line.
new quarterback in.
And the new running back. Did the ball come out?
Might be a fumble.
He came down. I think they're going to say down by contact, but nope. Louisiana takes over, a turnover.
First fumble of the game. Our first turnover of the game for Bowling Green, I should say.
Eli Grody was the quarterback.
Right. I'm not sure
Who he handed
who it
to.
was. I think it might have been number 30, but I don't want to pin that on him because I'm not positive.
Yeah.
So Bowling Green defense, they don't want to allow Louisiana to score anymore, I would not think.
Yeah, I don't think you want to upset the Calhouns if you don't have to, right?
Right. That's one way to put it.
So Louisiana takes over on the turnover, 1st and 10, trailing 54-18, and one more chance to try and make this one look respectable. Roll out for Harrison, puts it away, lowers his shoulder, and he'll get 2, maybe 3 on the far side.
Quarterback keeper by Ethan Harrison. Gain of 2 on the play.
Bring up second down.
Second down and 8 for the Bulldogs.
Harrison up to 28 yards on the ground.
Set that ball on the 45-yard line. Down to 2:25 to play. Time for a few more plays, and if you bust one, you can get yourself another score. Harrison to Green, as that's what they were trying to do, but he's met by a whole gaggle of Bobcats.
Yeah, they ran it up the middle. They want to try and get him outside. They're over on the left hash right now. Get him on a pitch outside. He might be able to outrun everybody if he can get to the corner. Looks like a gain of about 3.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and a long 5.
Gain on the play brings up 3rd down and 6 for the
They call it 6 here at Cunningham Field. As we're now down to about 1.5 minutes left in this game. Third and 5. Again, it's Green. He gets to the outside and is brought down.
Carried by DeMarco
Gets the
Green.
first down.
The result of the play is a Bulldog First down.
Looks like they're going to mark it at about the 30, gain of 14.
Yep.
He's approaching 100 yards all of a sudden.
They put it right on the 30-yard line, but we're down to a minute 5 to go in the game.
Up to 88 yards for Green.
Green coming off.
With the big 54-yard run, and he also
95-yard return.
176 yards in kickoff returns. He's been a busy guy.
48 seconds on the clock. Pitch out. To the near side, and gain of about 1. New back in there.
20. Which is Troy McDaniel.
There you go. We're down to 22 seconds now. Green has his helmet off, so he's done. And I think this game is done as well. Louisiana coming off the field. Bowling Green heads to the far sideline with a 54-18 victory, and they retain the Mayor's Cup as the handshake line lines up. There's the final horn, 54-18. Bobcats 1-0, Louisiana 0-1. Back with the postgame after this on Eagle 102. Final score in this one, 54 for Bowling Green, 18 for Louisiana. Louisiana had some moments, but just way too much of number 0, Blaine Bryant, all the way till the end. He's going to be a load for a lot of teams to handle this season if he can keep his legs under him. He was a little hobbled after that last touchdown, but I think his night was going to be done anyway. So
yeah, he had 150 yards on the ground, had reception for 22, scored 4 touchdowns?
Yeah, 3 rushing, 1 receiving.
And so yeah, he had a busy night, as you would expect.
Yes.
331 yards on the ground total for Bowling Green.
Wow. So, but there are good things for Louisiana to look at. They've got a good, solid kick returner who can also run the ball pretty darn well in DeMarco Green. They just have to find that outside. When they're trying to run between the tackles, there just wasn't much going on.
No, not at all. And, it starts up front, and as we've talked about, and it's really kind of ironic because on the defensive side of the ball, Louisiana's defensive line kind of held their own.
Yeah.
But the offensive line, which is pretty much the same guys, they just couldn't move anybody up front on offense, especially in the first half. They had 5 total yards in offense in the first half outside of the return yardage, which was a bunch. So, yeah, they've got that to work on. Bowling Green's got some things to clean up, too, penalties being one. And it's a first game in a game where you felt like coming into it you were the odds-on favorite, and so not that you look by it, but maybe you're not going full throttle either. I don't know, but
and maybe some of the things that did not work tonight will work really, really well against Crystal City in week 2.
Exactly. And I think Louisiana pretty much accomplished what Coach Pitzer wanted in my conversation with him before the game. He wanted to play 4 full quarters. Well, they were still going full bore in the fourth quarter here. I mean, they scored a couple touchdowns, or a touchdown in the second half, and 2 touchdowns in the second half actually. And so, no matter who the opponent is or what the personnel is, you still got to play, right? And so they did that. And Bowling Green, on the other hand, Coach St. Clair wanted to see some other guys in the lineup and get some action. They did. So I think both teams accomplished what they wanted in terms of what they wanted to see out of the game. Obviously, Louisiana liked to have been a little closer, but Bowling Green is just dominant right now. They've just got a good football team. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I'd hate to say the old coach, because I know all he does is lift weights all day at Bowling Green High School. But Coach Sinclair adds another win to his long total from all the years at Hannibal and throughout his career. But first one in a while in the head coach category. So congratulations to Coach Mark St. Clair on that. 54-18, our final. Bowling Green retains the Mayor's Cup. We'll come back with full stats and then a look around the area after this on Eagle 102. Final score in week 1, Bowling Green 54 and the Louisiana Bulldogs 18. Mark Cronick, Jim Ross back here at Cunningham Field. And the final look at those numbers.
Let's look at the team stats first, and they're obviously unofficial. On the ground, Bowling Green 331 yards, 81 through the air, and a total of 412 yards offensively. 1 turnover, 7 penalties for 60 yards. For Louisiana, they ended up with 165 yards on the ground, no passing yards, ironically enough. 189 yards in return yardage.
They were a couple fingertips away from some nice totals.
Total of 354 total yards. That's a little bit deceiving with the big number on the returns. 1 turnover and only 4 penalties for 20 yards. Let's take a look at some of the individual stats. First for the victorious Bobcats, 16 carries for Blaine Bryant, 150 yards. Jace Eskew carried it 8 times for 75. Easton Orff 5 times for 33 yards. And then Milosevic 3 for 20. Dunn 2 for 18. Dalton 1 for 5. And Brandenburger 2 for 10. 5 for 7 was Jace Eskew through the air for 82 yards. And his favorite 2 receivers were Eli Grody with 24-yard reception, Blaine Bryant with 22. And as we mentioned, they had a number of penalties that they'll want to talk about, and that'll be for next week, right? Quickly, the Louisiana stats, they ended up with some halfway decent numbers. Mm-hmm. DeMarco Green rushed the ball for 11 times for 88 yards. Brady Shepard 8 times for 49 yards, and Ethan Harrison 7 times for 28 yards. And as we mentioned, no passing yards, 2 incomplete passes, and of course the big number was DeMarco Green with 189 yards in return yardage. And so they showed okay, but they fall 54-18.
That's our final here in Week 1. The Mayor's Cup goes to, or stays with, Bowling Green, as it has the last several times in this series. And we'll take a break, come back, and take a look around the area. Final look at the scores from around the area after this on Eagle 102. Final score in this one, 54-18. Bowling Green retains the Mayor's Cup. They also get the recycling award from the commissioners. What was that, the Clough and Ellsbury thing? Anyway, a solid win for Bowling Green in Week 1, 54-18. And how about some other scores from around the area?
Yeah, some of these have a little age to them, but we're going to give them to you anyway. This game's probably ahead of some of these due to the running clock. Class leads Hannibal 35-7. Vanfar Trail South Callaway in the fourth, 21-14. Bishop Lime beat North Shelby 58-42 in an 8-man game. Kirksville over Macon 34-12. That's in the fourth. Quincy High leads Quincy Notre Dame 35-6. Highland leads Putnam County 18-14. Highland's got a new turf field, by the way. South Shelby 47-6 in the fourth over Milan. Centralia putting it on Mexico. That's interesting, 27-0. Paris, who went to 8-man this year, if you didn't know that.
Huh.
Yeah, Southwest out of Ludlow, Missouri leads them 28-12. Triopia leads Pleasant Hill 28-0. Clark County 38-0 over Scotland County. Monroe 32-8 over Mark Twain. Hallsville 38, Palmyra 6. And that's going to pretty much do it for the area. There might have been one more score down. Oh, yeah, Orchard Farm. Somebody might run into them. They lead Houston. Wow, that's an interesting game. 19-14 in the fourth quarter. Montgomery and Herman were tied at 14 at half, so that score's probably got some age to it.
Yeah, probably. Here, Bowling Green is 1-0. Louisiana 0-1. Very winnable game a week from tonight for Louisiana at home against Crystal City. It's nice to start with back-to-back weeks at home.
It is. It is. As you mentioned, the field looks good right now, and we're supposed to maybe get a little bit of rain, maybe even tonight and Sunday night, and green this grass up a little more. And you got your grass mowed, so you're good to go.
Ish. 90% of it. For the heat stroke set in yesterday.
You're going to have one tall spot, is that what you're saying?
I already had one tall spot, but we'll get it done sooner or later. 54-18 is our final in this one. Bowling Green over Louisiana. We'll see you next week for more high school football right here on Eagle 102.